I'm going to start by sharing with you a little story, and I want you to go back to your 10-year-old self. Now, imagine you, a 10-year-old, coming back home from school, seeing the house completely empty, bags packed in front of your door, passports and paperwork in your dad's hand, and all you hear is your dad's words ringing in your ear. We need to go. We need to go now. To where? To a place where there is no bombs, to a place where there is no bloodshed, to a place where you can have a future, to a place where you are safe. Imagine you now, as a father or as a mother, saying this to your children, making them leave behind their childhood memories, their family, their life, everything gone in the blink of an eye. That's what my parents had to do. And I'm so glad to be here today and for them to be watching me. Now, at first sight, I might seem like a typical girl who goes to school, gets a good education, comes back to a home where she sees her dinner ready on the table and going to sleep peacefully at night. That's how my life here is in Northern Ireland. In Syria, this lifestyle does not exist. What lifestyle? There is no lifestyle in Syria. You don't even know if you're going to sleep at night. You don't even know if you're going to wake up in the morning. You don't even know if you're going to last another minute. Here, I set alarms to wake me up in the morning, but I'll be honest, I press snooze a couple of times to have a bit of a line before my dad barges into the room. You're going to be late for school. But in Syria, I wish there was a snooze button for the sound of bombs waking me up in the morning, because I would have never stopped pressing it. When I first stepped a foot on this land, it was as if this heavy rock was being lifted off my chest that allowed me to take in this deep and fresh breath of air. And it was then that I knew I'm safe here. At first, life was hard living in Northern Ireland, not knowing the language, the people, the streets, the city. The language itself was my biggest challenge. But the Belfast accent was another language in itself. How was I supposed to know that melter meant someone that's annoying and not actually that something that melts stuff? In fact, when I first came here, I only knew 3 words: hello, thank you, and goodbye. I went from a person who did not know how to introduce herself to performing speeches in front of so many people today. It was tough trying to fit in, but as time went by, and with the help of so much welcoming people, slowly the confusing puzzle pieces of my life started becoming this beautiful picture. Now, imagine a world without any war. Imagine the peacefulness. Imagine the happiness. Imagine the love. Are you done imagining? Good, because what I'm about to tell you is going to knock you off your seat. So I suggest you buckle up. Migration is taken so lightly these days that it makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, look at all these wars that are happening. Congo, Ukraine, Palestine, Syria, my home country, the country that I was forced to leave behind, that held all of my childhood memories, all of my family, my friends, my life, all gone in a blink of an eye. People wonder why migration happens. I mean, have a look around. These innocent civilians have nowhere else to go. It's either stay there and die or get up and leave. This is a reality that no one can change or believe. But what if we can? There's actually so little for us to do. We can only pray, make donations, go on protests, and make more people aware of the world that we live in. At the end of the day, it's all in the hands of the government. Do you honestly believe that they can or will listen to me and you? All we do is sit behind a screen watching videos of what's happening around the world and maybe commenting some inspirational quotes like, "You've got this, we're all with you, we can hear you, we know your pain." But do you? According to the Population Division of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, as of 1st of July 2020, the global number of international immigrants was estimated to be 281 million. That's 281 million people. But that does not take into consideration the people that we have lost due to these wars. Palestine. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes on Gaza since October 7th. And by the time I finish this speech, that number would have increased by a couple of hundreds, if not thousands. 7,000 of those Palestinians were innocent children. 39 of them were infants who died due to there being no power for incubators. Their life ended before it even started. 6 of the 281 million immigrants were my family and I. We migrated from Syria back in 2016 and moved to Northern Ireland. We traveled through many countries, such as Turkey, Greece, Serbia, Macedonia, Italy, Germany. What was meant to be a couple-of-hour flight turned into a torturous 2-month journey. We spent days sleeping on the streets, starving, shivering, scared for our life, and not knowing what the future may hold for us. You might be wondering, well, how were you getting to all of these places? Well, we walked, took a couple of buses, boats, trains, any mode of transport you can name, I've been on. A couple of times we seen our life flash in front of our eyes. We wanted to give up and go back, but why? Going back meant more years of horror, terror, destruction, trauma, and more years of our life wasted waiting for a bomb to come and hit us. So we took a couple of steps back and decided to continue on with our journey. And luckily, look where that has brought me. Here, on a stage in Stormont, delivering a speech to you about migration. However, there was this one point where I almost gave up on life, and that was between the Turkish borders. There was an open tunnel, almost 8 meters deep, where you had to jump inside, then climb back up to get to the other side. We tried to cross this tunnel 4 times, but failed miserably, due to there being heavily armed Turkish soldiers preventing us from entering their land. They would have done anything to anybody to stop you from entering. And at one point, I came face to face with one of those soldiers. At that point, my heart stopped. I froze in my place, screams begging to come out of my mouth, but nothing did. He was going to push me back into the tunnel and shoot me like he did with the rest of the people, but he didn't. He let my family and I go, and at that exact moment, I knew that not all people may seem cold-hearted as they look. Another incident which made me grab my heart in my hand was between Turkey and Greece, where we had to get on this 9-meter-long latex boat and travel from Turkey to Greece. There was only meant to be 30 people getting on this boat, but as soon as everyone saw the boat coming, it was like their one-way ticket to freedom. They started rushing towards this boat, and soon, there was no space for anyone. But luckily, my family and I managed to reach it just as it was about to get full. At the end, 80 people managed to get on this boat. 80, including 40 of them being children, babies, infants. There was so little space for all of us that we had to sit on top of each other. It was a 4-hour journey of pure horror. The boat stopped 4 times in the middle of the sea. And due to the heaviness, the water started getting inside the boat. And we started to sink bit by bit. But luckily, my dad acted as the hero here. He looked around and seen how many bags these people were carrying. So he grabbed our bags and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Let's throw these bags off the boat. Come on, they're not more important than your life. They're not more important than your children's life. Come on, throw them." And with that, he threw the only 2 bags of clothing that we had left into the sea. When people saw my dad's heroic actions, they started to follow him, and they also threw their bags into the sea. And soon, we reached a little island in Greece called Mytilene. War is not over. As soon as one war ends, you see another one peeking just right around the corner waiting for its cue. What? What do you want from these innocent civilians who have done nothing but try to live their life? Try to. So let's think about what can we, as a society, do to help. Let me rephrase that by asking you, what have you done to help? I'll give you a second to think. Done? You might have done nothing, or you might have done something, such as sharing a post on social media, making a donation, going on a protest. It does not matter what you have done. It's simply from the good of your heart, because every little helps. We as a society can achieve so much beyond expectations, but we sometimes tend to underestimate our strength, So let's stop imagining and start acting to create love, create peace, and stop war. Thank you very much.
Well, what about that? Stop imagining and start acting. Thank you to Romov, and welcome to Northern Ireland. We're delighted to have you here, aren't we?